What opportunities do you see in the industrial IoT segment?
Industrial IoT segment is such a big part of our overall economic output if you look at it from a GDP perspective. It's critical that we look at the next generation of productivity and safety in this segment. Let me give you some examples. Automating defect detection on a production line. Ensuring worker safety by making sure workers are sitting with the right posture, guiding them, helping them avoid repetitive stress injuries would be another example. Predictive maintenance. The cost of an assembly line going down, fixing something and restarting is huge. So if you can predict and say something is about to fail, let's proactively fix the defect that's about to happen.
Right.
That helps from an economic output perspective. So as we look at these applications, latency, connectivity, the ability to analyze data at the edge becomes super critical. And these are all the areas where MediaTek has had traditional strength, but also areas we are investing in heavily. Finally, as we look forward, generative AI and spoken interaction, for example, with a control panel instead of manually typing in text, is another simple way in which the whole experience of a worker on the production line is changing. The ultimate goal is having some level of full autonomy and therefore high safety. And I think we are on a good march towards that eventual goal. From MediaTek perspective, everything we're doing in terms of long life support, multi-OS support, investing in more edge AI capabilities, these all feed right into the needs for this IoT industrial segment.
So what does MediaTek bring to the table for industrial IoT applications?
There are a few aspects that the industrial IoT customers absolutely need. Everything from power efficient computing to the flexibility to mix and match connectivity, compute, and edge AI, to support for long life, because these markets, when they install something, they expect it to be supported for 5, 10, 15, even some of them will say 20 years.
They don't want it to break randomly.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. They also want to see investments in the software stack, because ultimately the applications require more support at the software level. So they're looking for partners who can support multiple operating systems, multiple real-time operating systems. These are all the things that we are able to bring to the table. And the final thing I would say is security is becoming a huge issue and a focus area. And this is an area where we have invested heavily. And so we think about security not as a bolt-on, but as built-in.
That's
so
good.
When we design our product, when we design our reference applications, we are asking ourselves the question of what level of security does the end customer need? And how do we enable things in our platform to make their life easier and their product more secure?
Even as a consumer, when it comes to security, I need to think about and consider how the brands I'm working with or how the brands that I'm bringing into my household are securing themselves. And knowing that MediaTek has a focus on that and is integrating that into the platform is extremely important.
Exactly. And the important thing is we are working with the ecosystem, right? So when we work with an operating system partner, we make sure that the latest and the greatest security features and all performance features, but certainly security features are enabled on our platform. So the customers get to benefit from it and they don't have to go build it from scratch.
What about smart retail?
So smart retail is a segment where we've seen the fastest ramp of MediaTek Genio platform. And that is not surprising because our heritage is the smartphone, Android-enabled form factor.
Right.
So you get the benefits of power-efficient computing and a stable platform to go build upon. In retail, we are seeing applications from mobile point-of-sale systems to desktop point-of-sale systems, digital signage and projectors, which are becoming increasingly important to give a good retail experience. We are also seeing applications where cameras are being used to analyze footfall, traffic, to optimize sales for retailers.
And how is MediaTek involved in healthcare?
Healthcare is an area that takes a while to adopt new technology. So what we are finding is customers are adopting things like ruggedized tablets, GAI-enabled assistants that can quickly transcribe locally, not in the cloud, locally for privacy reasons, the conversation between a doctor and the patient, respecting the confidentiality while allowing the doctor to focus on what they do best, which is treat the patient in the best possible way. We're also seeing future use cases where some of our smart display technology is going to help doctors, especially oncologists, look at, for example, MRI scans or cancer scans to spot very clearly where a potential disease might exist. Personally, for me, it's a very satisfying segment to be in because through our technology, we help so many more people lead better lives and have a better outcome for whatever medical issue they're facing.
And what type of IoT applications is MediaTek powering in those types of segments?
So some of the use cases that I talked about, I think the form factors that are enabling those applications are all powered by MediaTek.
Okay.
If you go look at the smart retail segment, it's all about ensuring a better customer experience. It's about minimizing losses. It's about analyzing customer behavior and giving them what they need. It's about also optimizing their entire supply chain. So making sure the right product is on the shelf.
Right.
How many times have you walked into a retail store, spent half an hour, and not found that perfectly fitting piece of clothing because it wasn't available?
It was either sold out, or it was misplaced, or it wasn't even available.
Exactly. And I believe, Shannon, in a very strange way, COVID was a terrible phase, but it taught us so much more about the robustness and the need for visibility into our supply chain.
Absolutely.
And how much lead time we have for so many of these products, so that the product, when the customer needs it, it's available to them.